undefeated in 9 fights. 6 successful title defenses. The most dominant athlete in the EFC. He is Pena.
Demart's about to achieve what no other athlete in EFC has ever done. He's currently got 9 victories under his belt, and he's looking for a 10th. This guy's here to win. This guy's getting into the hexagon, and he's doing what he does best, wins fights.
Having relinquished his featherweight title to drop down to bantamweight, Pena executed the perfect game plan to defeat Nkazimulu Zulu.
We knew that he's a good kicker, and he wanted to maintain the fight standing, and his wrestling wasn't going to be as good. So we tried to attack where he's weak, and we've been able to do that, and eventually I got the win.
We wanted to look for the finish, but Zulu did everything in his power to defend Demart on the ground. At the end of the day, we fight opponents on their weaknesses, and that's what Demart did, and we got the win.
Declaring the winner by unanimous decision and the new EFC Bantamweight Champion, Demart the Wolf Pena.
With that victory, Pena became the first athlete to hold titles in 2 different weight divisions. But to maintain that form does not come easy.
I like to read a lot of books on people that have been able to make a difference in the world. And the thing that most of them have in common, you know, not all of them were the best in their field, not all of them had the background to succeed, but all of them believed in themselves first before anything. And I think your mind is just so powerful. And I think for you to be a true champion, you need to first believe in your mind without any doubt. And I think everything else will just filter in. You know, my training for every fight is tailor-made for a specific opponent. It's amazing, actually, the amount of work that we put in. You know, then myself as well, I do yoga. You know, that's something that helps me with my stretching, and obviously I meditate as well. And it just keeps your mind, you know, focused. There's so much that you do in a week that when you get to Wednesday, sometimes you're just so tired, you know. The only thing that is keeping you going is just the drive to succeed.
We try to mix up the training, all aspects, you know, from swimming to gymnastics to whatever it is. They spend a lot of time in the gym, so whatever they can do outside the gym that's still improving their skill set, I'm all for. And I definitely push the guys to look for different aspects to improve outside of the gym.
And the hard work paid off. Not only is Pena the most dominant champion in the EFC, he was recently honored by his home country, Angola, receiving an honorary award for sporting excellence from the Honorable Minister of Youth and Sports.
For me as an athlete, that's, you know, to be honored in your own country of birth, that's truly amazing. And like I said before, you know, this is just another step in my career that I can't hold on too much onto it. Definitely makes a big difference in my life, but now I need to keep reaching for new goals and reaching for new heights.
Undefeated in the hexagon, Pena will now look to make it 10 wins out of 10. But a BJJ specialist will look to spoil the champion's party.
Francois
Ground and pound here from Groenewald. Thrown by Groenewald. Cross striker from the bottom. Marshall's covering up, and the referee goes stop it. Big spinning back twist. That one found its mark.
There it is. Victory for Groenewald. Gets the submission. And it's a new, rejuvenated Francois Groenewald.
A BJJ specialist by trade, Francois Groenewald did not have the easiest of starts in the EFC, losing his first 2 fights.
Both of them went to the third round decisions. You know, I had a couple of good rounds. We landed a couple of shots, but I would always gas, and that was a problem in the past. So basically my focus became working on my stand-up a lot and also my fitness.
But dropping down to bantamweight made all the difference. Groenewald went on to beat Craig Nino with a third-round rear-naked choke.
There it is, victory for Groenewald. Gets the submission.
Yeah, from this angle you can definitely see he was getting it in and working, pulling on that neck, and gets the victory. Francois Groenewald looks great at bantamweight.
And it's a new, rejuvenated Francois Groenewald.
Next up was the always dangerous Donovan Wilkin.
Stroke, see Vickerswaard checking, you can see that he was still moving and Francois just kept on squeezing and squeezing and squeezing, and as soon as he felt the body go limp, immediately told Vickerswaard that he was out.
Declaring the winner by tap out due to a rear naked choke, Francois Groenewald.
Groenewald then faced the Polokwane wrestler, Pierre Buerta, getting another first-round submission victory.
Well, that's probably one of the best fights I've had. He's a really good wrestler. I think he went to the Commonwealth Games. I actually took him down and I submitted him.
And now Francois is actually the one that sets up for the takedown. This is where he'll be very comfortable. It's great patience shown by Groenewald. A tactical wizard, and really he is so good at the submission game and so dangerous.
And then my latest fight was Leo Gloss. You know, we had some issues beforehand, and we got to settle that in the cage. And basically my first TKO victory was against him. So I'm really happy about that one. And I think all these fights led up to me being now in the spot that I am, going for the title.
People forget that Francois Groenewald hasn't lost at bantamweight. He's stronger, fitter, he's more versatile, and he has a distinct advantage in terms of his ground skills.
Groenewald has now transformed himself into a true mixed martial artist. But Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu will always be his first true passion.
More of a flowing, technical game. You know, you have to think your opponent. You have to be clever. You can't be just trying to force him into something. The only sport that I've ever seen that really a small guy can take on a big guy and really dominate him without worrying about the power or the strength aspect of the game.
It is a tough sport. It's a long-term thing because there's so much to learn and so much to actually try, and it's just a life-changing thing. And I think that's why it makes such a big difference in MMA as well. It's that whole journey that you have to go through to actually get to a level where you are good.
Basically, MMA is my whole life, you know. MMA is what I am. Francois is MMA.
The young man from Springs now has his eyes firmly set on bantamweight gold, but the BJJ specialist does not hold the current champion in high regard.
I don't agree always with the way he wins his fights. You know, he always talks about his legacy that he wants to have when he's finished with the sport. You know, you don't want to have the legacy of being the most boring fighter in EFC.
However, Pena strongly disagrees.
I've been able to dominate my opponents, and it's not my fault. And a lot of people, they're so judgmental about that, and they say, oh, you fighter. If I'm so bad, then why am I beating those good guys? Doesn't make sense.
Myself and Demart, we don't care about the opinions of sheep. So I don't care what people say. At the end of the day, this is our job, it's our livelihood, it's how we put our food on our table, and we do what we can and what we have to get the W.
And people might just relax themselves and enjoy the performance, you know. It's art, you know, and that's what I believe I am. Not just the martial part of it, but the art in itself. And I'm an artist, and what I do there, it's dominance, and just displaying displaying everything to such a point that guys can't stop it. That's art. He's gonna get hurt. I'm gonna hurt this guy to a point that he's gonna give up. Guaranteed.
You know, everyone thinks Demart is unstoppable. I'm gonna show everyone that even Demart, the Wolf Pena, can lose a fight.
The EFC bantamweight title is on the line, as the undefeated Pena clashes with the BJJ specialist Francois Groenewald. The war of the bantamweights starts now.
He's beating guys that can't fight on the ground. So now he's fighting a guy that's got Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu's got better wrestling than him, a lot stronger than him, more explosive than him, more athletic than him. And he's gonna understand after the fight, he's gonna understand.
He's gonna come up and give a hiding to Francois. Francois's been running his mouth to Demart. Demart doesn't like it, and Demart's gonna try to put his fist through his head, I guess.
Pena's used to just boring people to sleep and just lying on top of his opponent. With my submission game, he won't be able to just lie there and not take any shot. And I don't think that'll be his game plan. I think he was probably going to try and stand with me and not take the risk to go to the ground.
Pena has never fought anyone in EFC that has Francois' ground game. Everybody can be beaten, everybody has holes in their game, and we're going to expose them.
Having beaten all who stood in his way, the bantamweight champion will look to another dominating performance over his next opponent. But in Groenewald, the champion will find his toughest test yet.
I honestly feel that this is going to be Demart's defining war. The one that people sit back and go, wow, that was a performance. Because Francois Groenewald is the type of opponent that's going to bring it.
Technique is a big aspect of any sport, especially Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu and MMA. But what happens if you're really strong and really technical? Then what? What are you going to do then? So that's what Francois has to ask himself.
Thinking that anything is easy, like anybody who is mentally ready and puts his head down and really wants to beat you, that's a tough opponent.
I'm coming to take your legacy, your unbeaten record, and most importantly, I'm coming to take that shiny belt of yours.
From the first second of the fight until he gives up, and he's going to give up, I can guarantee I'm going to beat the living daylights out of this guy.
On the 2nd of October, the indestructible EFC lightweight champion Leon Maynard clashes with the striking specialist Sibusiso Ndoku, a man that has never been finished inside the hexagon. Will Maynard once again reign supreme, or can the monster do the unthinkable and tame the Iron Lion? Plus, the newly crowned bantamweight champion, the Wolf Pena, defends his title against the BJJ specialist Francois Groenewald. Has the undefeated champion finally met his match? Maynard versus Ndoku, Pena versus Groenewald. EFC 34, 2 October, Carnival City.